I will be discussing the film focus in my comparative study on film theory. In this case, it is Marxism, with the comparison of the two films Parasite and Us. An overview of Marxism and how it is demonstrated in film is a portrayal of the film society economically wise for the high class and the working class in a system known as capitalism. In this subject matter, it takes into account for the class relations and social conflict arousing the matter that capitalism only works under the thrive of exploitation from the working class. Marxism covers the contradiction between human nature and the way that we must work in a capitalist society. Marxism also makes the approach to life that everything has two sides, in which we can see heavily in the two films demonstrating the impacts of social classes and more. In the film Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho, it portrays a division of lifestyle between the working class and higher class, as we are first introduced into the home of the Kim family, who struggle to maintain their living lifestyle with low-income jobs and so on.
그래서 정말 돈 10% 떼고 주겠다는 거예요, 지금?
분량률에 비하면 페널티 적은 거지, 안 그래요?
The son of the Kim family later leads them to the opportunity in working under the home of the very wealthy Park family. With the one entry job slot taken under the Park household, the son is able to refer his sibling for a job needed for the son of the Parks, however without the awareness of Madame knowing that the teacher is the son's sister. This plan of the Kims proceeds as the daughter refers to the father, and the father then refers to the wife of the family. At this point in the film, the audience begins to understand the concept of the name of the film, Parasite. The events taking place driving the narrative revolve around the context of politics, capitalism, and popular culture in South Korea. The film highlights economical struggles the lower class must deal with while working more than those considered of the higher class. It is evident in Parasite those of the working class need to live under, on, and with others to survive. This introduces the level of competition the working class must deal with in order to live, giving their names as parasites, revealing their ugly side of jealousy, rage, and resentment. In the film, the Park family is a target for the lower class to grasp on as it leads to competition between the Kims and the Park's farmers' maid side of necessity to live, which leads to nothing more than consequences and chaos. This purpose of the narrative links into the second film, Us, directed by Jordan Peele, addressing the issues created by the never-ending necessities living the so-called American dream. The director goes on to say in an interview, "The state of this country inspired me. We are a country that is afraid of the outsider, whether it is within our borders or outside of our borders. I think when we fail to point our finger inward, we are capable of really messing up in big ways." The way this quote is demonstrated in the film, we're first introduced to our protagonists, the Wilson family, who go on to a vacation in Santa Cruz, California with the plan of spending time with their friends, the Tyler family.
You got the boat?
Yep, I got the boat.
Good for you, dude.
Boom.
That's fucking awesome. What'd you get, a dinghy?
Oh, shut up.
You got to make sure you have the essentials. You got the life preservers?
Got that.
You got a fire extinguisher?
Got that.
You have a flare gun?
However, what drives the basis to the plot is a desire for more things that display a person's level of status and wealth.
You gotta get my wife her medicine.
This is heavily seen between the Wilson and Tyler family through their discussions and presentation on screen, with instances as their vacation home, discussions of comparing one another's possessions, and more. Later into the film, the Wilson family are the first to encounter the doppelgangers, leading to the suspense, conflict, and horror of the story. However, the doppelgangers are the symbol of duality, highlighting that the worst people/enemies we can see in our lives are ourselves, who wish to have more, leading to greed and conflict. The doppelgangers are also used to symbolize those of the unfortunate in life, the lower class, to fight in revenge over the jealousy and disgust of those in the higher class of life. These components behind the film are reflected beyond today's reality with socio-economic issues aroused from the system of capitalism, as most of those, for instance, in America today, continue the trend of wanting and gaining more in possessions. This can reflect the quote-unquote wonders of the American dream. However, among us, it is interpreted as the image we display with the things we are capable of purchasing.
What do you want? You could have my wallet.
You could have the car.
Gabe.
You could have the boat for all I care.
Nobody wants the boat, Dad.
This is greatly reflected on the significance and influence Peele brings into his film. Our necessity of wanting more is caused by the wealthier status of others, leading to again greed and conflict. The subject matter is what links the two films together in status, desires, competition, and conflict among the characters, and in definition, us. As both films do address social class and wealth under the topic of Marxism, it is more evident in Parasite as the idea of two sides always in life is more blatant with the direction toward the story and film elements, making it come to life. In our first shot of Parasite, we see the direction of the camera begin to lower from the window's view to the apartment down below to the home of the Kims. This choice of camera movement emphasizes on the living conditions beneath the lowest of the working class. This follows with the walkthrough of the Kim's household being very poor for living conditions as the brother and sister try desperately to reach for the free Wi-Fi signal from upstairs. The film goes on to evidently present the family status with their low-paying jobs, however appreciate the small victories that come to them such as the free Wi-Fi.
일부 핸드폰은 그 재개통 그리고 쏟아지는 와이파이를 축하하며.
It is when the friend of the sons gives the opportunity to work as a tutor for the park's daughter. As the audience notices, he begins to climb the ladder from one of the many opportunities they take as a family to survive. Through camera work, mise en scène, sound design, and so on.
또 들려오니까 어쩔 수 없이 저런 감동.
아버지, 지금 감정이.
The viewers grasp to the perspective of the character as the light begins to shine through the window of their family from the opening into the very wealthy Park family. However, with the film Us, every aspect portrayed leads more to the symbolic side. This is why most viewers going into the movie zoomed past the significance Peele brought into the film, where we can understand in the intro of the film as it seems to be a typical yet different horror movie from its genre. First note of attention can go towards cinematography. For instance, when the doppelgangers are first seen at the end of the driveway, the lighting of these characters are lit from the back, and they come out underexposed while casting long shadows on the driveway. This is used to accentuate that purpose of the doppelgangers being the same character of the people in reality, however without a soul. This connects into the piece of dialogue shared by the doppelgangers / their leader Red, the twin of Adelaide.
Once upon a time, there was a girl, and the girl had a shadow.
Her speech and tone are barely audible, emphasizing that purpose of one's soul only to exist in a body, such as Red's and Adelaide's. It also carries on with the reasoning to why these imposters kill their victims by the throat to block and terminate their essential way of communication with one another. Symbols like these also carry on with instances as the rabbits in the intro credit sequence, symbolizing the captive doppelgangers living in the quote-unquote underground with no resource of true life. The movie continues to top off its genre of horror with visible low-light scenes anticipating the viewers to what comes in the next frame. This technique of low light and contrasted shots is the embodiment to the source of danger / conflict to occur. The same can be said with Parasite when the son and daughter make their plan of action to Madame and referring the next parasite to enter the home. It is noticeable they take their victim away from the light and into the dark to infect the host. With both films addressing similar interpretable topics, the films begin to differentiate amongst each other when film elements and techniques come into play, displaying the creative and significant moves by the director's influence.